say this real quick. I appreciate you for doing this. I really do.
Oh, no
I
problem.
really appreciate you for being here doing this podcast with me. Uh, we're supposed to have other guests that we're very, very excited to get on with us, but last minute uh, it all fell apart. But I figure we just keep going and just do it. This is the end of the year recap. I got my Christmas tree set up behind me. We're done with Christmas. I'm gonna tear it down and we're gonna go into the new year. Uh
Okay, sure. Sorry, I have to take off my robe. But as I say this, it's getting too hot.
oh, okay. I
Ugh.
was like, what?
Okay.
Taking off the robe.
No, I need. Anyway, I had it on for a few hours, so I'm getting a little heated. Okay. Now let me make sure everything's good real quick. Okay, that's fine. Um, yeah, to get four people on it, and everyone's doing their own thing, especially this week. Everyone's probably busy.
Yeah, what a weird day to do it. I was like, dude, the main reason was because we're all off tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like that's why I was like, it could work, it could work, but yeah, it didn't work. Too much going on.
yeah. Except for me.
And for me, apparently. My wife's giving the kids haircuts in the kitchen.
Oh, really?
So I'm good.
Yeah.
So Montgomery Brawl. Did you see the video?
I saw like the three videos. Dude, that was I I hate people who the guy is just he works on the dock. He's I don't know what this is all about, but something about moving the boat and the first of all, I don't get okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I hate I hate when people fight, first of all, and you see the guy go just run up behind him and start hitting him. But I will say, I loved how the dock worker. Did you see how he flicks his hat off? He's like, "This is it. Like, this is where we go." I'm like, dude, that is such a badass move that he did.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right,
Fuck
this
it.
is it."
Fuck it. He just
And
jumped
he just
right
starts
in.
going.
Yep. Yep.
And then the one of the videos they show the guy swimming in to try to help
Yeah.
him out. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that
Dude.
is awesome.
Dude. Yeah. It was a crazy ass. That was a and then like yeah, it was just all bad, dude. All
Oh,
bad.
those guys piss me. I just hate those are just reasons I'm like I just hate being around people because I don't like most people, and then I see things like that. I'm like, this just reinforces my like decision of just like not liking.
Well, I don't know if that guy first guy was drunk or what, but yeah, he shouldn't have swung like he swung on every he started swinging on that guy, on the security guard. So
Well,
that's what
and
started
then
everything. And then it turned into a race war because all the black
it,
people on the boat were like, hey, they're beating up this black. They thought it was a race thing. Oh, these white
yeah,
guys are beating up this black guy.
and
So they're like, fuck it, jump in.
well, you had another white guy try to pull the other guy off. I think he probably was drunk, and then so they he started swinging at the other guy. But I'm just like, dude, so I think one of the things said four of them were arrested. So I mean that's at least that's good because there was four that needed to get at least four that needed to get arrested.
Well,
But
I mean,
geez, dude, it's like the guy's doing his job. I don't care what it is. Like you don't do that. I I'm glad I'm glad that happened because they got outnumbered pretty quick. I'm like, good, dude. That's
yeah,
freaking
yeah, and yeah, think about that too. Like, yeah, think about that. Like, if you're gonna start a fight, like, how's it gonna end? I mean, you gotta think of all the options. You gotta think of all the possibilities if you plan on starting a fight. Because most people start fights obviously for their ego, thinking that they're gonna win. But it's like, dude, you can get knocked out right now. Like, just you can get knocked out right now. And then how is this gonna affect your life from here on out? You know, either it's
people
gonna
who
fuck up your ego or you're gonna be hurt really bad. Like either way, you're gonna be fucked up for a while.
people who know how to fight, which doesn't include me, but I'm just saying people who know how to fight know that you don't get into street fights. It is so easy to accidentally kill someone. One good hit, they're out. They hit their head on the curb, they're
Right.
dead. You're in jail.
Right.
It's like you do not get into now for protection, sure, but you do not like start these street fights because
Yes.
it's
Oh
just so
yes.
it's so easy to just not accidentally, but just to pop someone with one good hit and they're out. And it's like, is it really worth it? I mean,
Well, I mean, I
so
think a lot of times people just don't care, and that's scary too because you don't want to be around people like that.
no, and that's why I really don't like being like in the like downtown areas, club areas, especially late at night, it's just like something bad's going to happen to someone, whether it's you or someone you're with. That's just another factor in. But pretty much, I haven't gone out that much. Or there was a couple years where I would go out every now and then, and pretty much every time there was a fight in one of the clubs somewhere, and it's like I hate being around that because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. Right.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's fucking crazy, dude. Anyways, crazy lady on the plane.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
What do you think?
Well, I actually didn't know what all happened afterwards until I saw the videos you sent. So after seeing all of it, she just admits there's no one there. So I'm like, maybe she did it for views, maybe she did it for popularity because it worked if that's the case.
I did not see anything.
What?
But she straight up said, I just said it and no one was there. So I'm like, she's admitting that she said it to no one and she said it was her free speech or something. I'm like, that's kind of weird to say. So I guess you're just admitting that it was just a publicity stunt, but it worked. So did you
Go ahead.
did you see? Well, you saw because you sent it to me. But all those people saying like, "Man, I'm going off the plane. I've seen Final Destination too many times to know that I'm not staying on the plane." Okay,
Yeah.
real question though: if you're in the plane and you see someone do that, are you getting off the plane?
Depends on what's going on because a lot of times it's like obviously that was a situation that everything was fine, but she was just hallucinating or I feel like there's something they're not telling us. And because there's other videos that she's done after that where like she doesn't look normal, but she's talking, I'm fine, everything's fine. But it's like someone has a gun to her head. There's other videos where there's one where she's talking to her, like it's like her posting a video in her house or maybe somewhere, but she's like talking to a laptop or a phone and it's like a pre-recorded message and she sends it out on her social media and it goes viral because this is the crazy lady on the plane, right? And there's experts, maybe people who think they're experts, analyzing the video saying that someone else is in the room with her, conspiracies basically. She's a robot or she's being she's under mind control now. Like they're spinning the story, trying to spin the story, right? There's a lot of things mixed up with this situation. There's other videos too where right after the crazy lady on the plane, like right around that time, there was a guy with tattoos all over his face who was talking about he was the guy that scared her. And he's telling the story about what happened, how he has a Freemason brand sweater on. And she was talking about how she doesn't like Freemasons. She's a Christian. And he's like rubbing it in her face. And he pretended to be, she's like, you're part of the devil. And he's like, yes, I am. And like it turned into a whole, like he was messing with her. And she freaked out and got up and ran to the front of the plane. And that's where you see the video of her saying that motherfucker back there is not real. But turned out that guy was fake. He did this whole story on his Instagram or whatever, and he was making it up. It wasn't, and then it turned out it was another guy, and they interviewed that guy, and it was just like, who's telling the truth? What's going on here? Is it all just her in her head? Who cares? Why do we care about this? You know what I mean? It's like all these things going on where it's like they're distracting us from the real cause. Like, what's going on here? Why is this news? Why are we talking about this? It's a lot of things to unpack with this certain subject here. And especially like they're paying her to go on a podcast and talk about it just to say that she was lying. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean?
No, our standard for what's interesting is pretty low now. And
Right.
and I include myself in that. I'm not saying I'm above it, but I'm just like, I look at this stuff and I'm like, well, chances are she did it to get noticed and it worked. And then these guys who are coming out, chances are it's very easy to say, what if I say I'm the guy? And even if it's even if I get 5 minutes of fame from it, what if it's that easy? And you go on there and it's that easy.
It's a crazy reason
I don't
to
know.
do that. Crazy reason to do that.
But everyone's
called clout. Clout chasers.
Everyone's trying to get famous, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's hurting other people, even if it's causing a conspiracy. They want their that's the there's just a weird change that happened where when I was a kid, you wanted to be, I guess you also wanted to get rich and famous, but you wanted to be for like acting or playing football or you wanted to get rich and famous for doing something. But nowadays kids are like, I just want to be on YouTube. And I watch people on YouTube, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like there's plenty of channels I like to watch, but it's just like it's like trying to, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like saying you want to be in the NBA. Like, yeah, there's a 0.05% chance you can do it, but you have to realize that chances are you're not going to do it. But I don't know. I don't know. The internet is the
Clout
best
chasers.
and
Clout chasers.
worst thing ever. Yep.
They're clout chasers. Everyone's a fucking clout chaser now. That's what that is. Clout chasers.
Why do you think I'm here?
Right. No. No, and honestly, that's something that I'm worried about now. Is I'm trying to expand the podcast, but that's something else that I don't want to be a clout chaser, and I don't need the clout. You know what I mean? I enjoy doing this. I learn it from every episode. I learn how to light. I learn how to edit. I'm learning how to do things that I normally wouldn't do if I was just sitting at home playing video games or just, not, because this is something I've always wanted to do, was edit and know how everything works and audio. And I'm still like, I try to do a pod, like I'm failing. I'm learning from my failures. You know what I mean? Like the other day, how I try to make a tradition of doing a Halloween episode with my wife every year, and I tried to follow tradition, but this time I decided to bring her brother in, and he sat there. So it was a 3 mic setup. So it was a little bit. I bought this like board, like the soundboard, but for some reason, every time everything would hook up to my laptop, it would crash. My laptop would crash every time I started. So I was like, all right. So I finally found a way around it, and I recorded. And it turns out it did not record the audio. So I shot this whole podcast. We went to this whole thing, and now it's like I have so many podcasts where it's just horrible, and you know what I mean. Like so many scrap podcasts. I've done podcasts with people. I did one with one guy. After it was done, he's like, I don't want it. I don't want you to post this. I'm like, okay. So I have like podcasts that no one's ever seen. They don't want it out. You know what I mean? It's like crazy, dude. Like crazy. And it's fine. I get it, but it's just part of the process. Like I have to be ready for that. I have to be ready for all these situations. So I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to put something out that someone's not going to want to hear. But that's my whole thing with this podcast. My point is, like, I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to, like, people tell me all the time, like, you got to be out there. You got to push it. It's like, I don't need to. I'm learning from it still. Like maybe one day that's a whole other aspect of the social media game. Like that's something I'm not really interested in, but I guess if I want to push my podcast, I have to do it. So I got to learn that,
Yeah.
Like how to be like, on Instagram and on, out there. And it's like, okay, I'll do it. I'll have to do it. TikTok and all this shit.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where I'm just like, yeah, whenever you need someone, I'm just like, yeah, I'm here. It helped me a lot because when you first brought it up, I was like, dude, I literally have nothing to talk about. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm like, hey, I could fill a couple hours pretty easily, So like, oh, all right, maybe I have some things to talk about I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, and so that's another thing I was thinking about with you. Thank you, I appreciate you with that. With being there, always being there. But I have one that I still haven't put out yet with you. And it's like, fuck, dude, like, just thought about that right now. Like, I have so many backlogged like the one all we're talking about is food. That one's not out yet. And that was like June.
At least with ours, I don't think we have to edit too. I don't think you have to edit too much. I think there was like one or two things where I was like, maybe just take that part out. But for the most part, I think we're all good.
Yeah, and that's easy. It's easy there. But like the last one I did was, and the last one I posted. Oh man, like I was falling asleep. I was actually, I drank a lot of beer and I smoked a little bit before I did it, and it was mixed with like, and that was the Bashi one. So Bashi, it took him an hour to get on. Like it took him an hour. It's like after we 10 o'clock guy, and then it took him an hour, and then we did 2-3 hours. So it was like 2 a.m. when we were
Oh
done.
my gosh.
And I was like, at the end of it, I'm like, bye, Bashi. I'll see you later, man. I'll see you later. Like my eyes were like, I was talking to him, but my eyes were shut. Like I was like out. I checked out. And everyone's like, dude, you got fucked up. Like, nah, bro. Actually, I was tired. I was fucking tired, bro. Like people really came up to me and told me that, like, hey, bro, it was Darren. He was like, or sorry, Mr. Hill. He was like, you were faded on that podcast. I'm like, dude, I was actually hella tired because Bashi took his fucking time.
No, this is the perfect time for me because it's like, okay, great. I'm not gonna do once like 9 hits, I'm like passing out.
Right. And that's fine. I get it. But it was just like, dude, we had a lot of good conversation. Like Bashi's a great guy. Like he could talk and he has so much energy. Like it was crazy, like to see like the beginning. I was like, uh-huh. And at the end, I was like, and he the whole time was just like, and then he ended the episode with like, yeah, baby, we're gonna get it. I was like, yeah. When I was editing it, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm so glad he's so high energy all the time. Like at 2 a.m, he's like,
Bashi is the one person because I don't play fantasy football too well, but he doesn't set his lineup most of the time, and he still beats me every time, and it gets me so upset because I'll be like sweating over here trying to get the best team, and he like has 2 people out, and I'm like he manages to beat me almost every time.
really?
Just like yeah, and he knows this, so he's gonna listen to this, and he knows this.
He's
But
probably really good at lottery, huh?
we have a rivalry. I tell him like I don't care about other teams. I'm just trying to beat you. That's my Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl. But no, he's beaten me already once this year, so I got one more chance to beat him this year. But we'll see.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That Bashi, man.
yeah, that Bashi.
I see we do one more. I'm gonna have to get out of here soon.
Yeah, it works for me.
You pick it. You want to talk about the Will Smith?
Sure. Yeah.
Or which one? I don't
dude,
know.
I gotta say, I feel bad for Will Smith, dude. Like Pinkett Smith is like I don't know everything involved, but I do think she's like it feels like she toys with them so much because she'll be like in these interviews saying like, yeah, I like other men more, and Will's kind of there, and Will's over here going like, man, I love her so much. I'm like, dude, like you gotta. And then you have his best friend coming out and saying these things where I don't know how much you want to say of what was said, but it's like, man, your friend's coming at you now. Like this poor guy, he just can't get a W here.
Well, I think it's just for years, man. I don't know if you've heard it, but for years there's been rumors that Will Smith is gay. For fucking years. So it's not a surprise to me, but basically we're talking about this one of Will Smith's assistants, his friend, right? It was an assistant, I believe.
They
for him
say
early
it's his
on.
best friend, but I don't know if it's his best friend, but they say it's his best friend.
I thought it was his assistant turned friend, but they're friendly. But he used to work for Will Smith. That's why there was a story he told on something. I think it was a podcast where he this assistant, this ex-assistant, this ex-friend or whatever, it sounds like an ex-friend now, talked about the time he walked in on Will Smith and another actor.
All right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder, like murder. There was murder in there.
Dwayne Martin.
I'm gonna look up who that is.
He's in a
Dwayne
lot
Martin.
of stuff. He's in a lot of movies. Shoot, I see him right now.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like a
wait, Dwayne Martin, isn't he what's it Fresh Prince, what's his name, what's his character's name?
in Fresh Prince. No, he's not in Fresh Prince. Oh, he's in
Dwayne-
Scream 2. That's where I remember him from. He was in Woo with Jada Pinkett Smith. That's crazy. He's in the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Anyways, Dwayne Martin. He's been in things since the 90s. I've seen him in stuff. He was in Woo. That was where I know him from. Any Given Sunday. He's in Will Smith music videos. That's crazy. Yeah, he's in a lot of movies.
Oh,
but
okay.
he
I
was
don't
in
know.
Fresh Prince, the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Anyways, there was talks of him walking in, the assistant walking in on this Dwayne Martin guy having sex with Will Smith on a couch, against the couch. And I mean, I'm not surprised. My only thing is like, why? My real question is, why is this guy coming out and saying it now?
That's the thing. Like I treat it as whether it's true or not, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't think it matters probably to anyone. I mean, Will Smith is always going to be like Will Smith, but I'm just thinking like to have your friend. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't his friend, but sure, all the articles say it was his friend. But that just kind of I just heard it randomly on a podcast. I think this morning. It was just kind of I was kind of like, what? Where did this come from? All of a sudden, but I think that's such a it's such a weird thing because when I read biographies, it's just like when you get so big, you just can't trust anyone. And you have these friends who are friends up until a point, and then they think, man, if I whether it's rumor or not, whether it's whatever it's, but if I just spill this secret, whether it's true or not, I could get pretty big because um this friend or whoever, I don't think anyone's probably knew who he was, or maybe very vaguely, but now everyone's Googling him like, oh, who is this guy? So I don't know.
I think he got paid out.
But
That's what it was about. I probably needed money, and he just fuck it. This guy, like, he went to someone. I got a story about Will Smith.
you're right. You're probably
and,
right. You're probably right.
He probably needed some money. Low on something or hard times, or I don't know. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but who knows what his story is, or who knows? Maybe he had a thing with Will Smith where he's jealous now, and he was the man. I don't know, but my whole thing was like maybe he's like trying to blackmail Will Smith, like we were lovers. I'm gonna just expose you for cheating on me or something.
Yeah.
But that's been something for years, and I think that's why Jada Pinkett Smith is so fucking bored because she knows he's gay, and that's why they had this open relationship where it was like I know you're gay, dude. Just let me like go out and like have sex with dudes, like let me have fun. Like I'm tired of your gay ass, you know what I mean, or whatever. But
So you think it's on Will then in that
I
relationship?
do think that because we all know from the beginning, it seemed like an arranged marriage because it was always a rumors for years that Will Smith has been gay. Like it's been rumors for years.
So I'm gonna just claim ignorance. I had zero idea up until now that
Really?
it was like I had no idea.
Well,
I didn't know.
there were rumors, and then what happened was, do you remember when years ago, like maybe almost 10 years now, when Jada Pinkett Smith was like, she was seeing some guy. It was one of her son's friends.
Yeah, I remember that.
So supposedly that guy was fucking Will Smith as well. So it was like they were all fucking him.
Okay, you know what? You mentioned that was what was that last year or 2 years
This was
ago?
like 2016, 2015. This is a while ago when that
Oh,
happened. This was like years ago.
I remember hearing about that, but I heard about semi recently, not that long ago.
No, so there was it came out like that they were, and that's where it started. Like they were separated. That's why it was okay for her to do that because she was separated from Will Smith, and she was fucking this young kid, like he was like in his 20s, and it was her son's friend. But this guy was like, and I'll send you videos of this guy. This guy's on a reality show, bro, and he ended up coming out like as gay. Like he fucks dudes and girls, like he fucks them both. So that's another thing where it's like there were rumors that they were both fucking him. This kid. Will Smith was having his turn, and then Jada Pinkett was having her turn, which is fucking weird. Like if your husband and wife are fucking the same guy, that's fucking weird, bro. Like that's like some Hollywood celebrity. Like I have it all. I'm bored. I have all this money. And I'm bored. Shit. Like like I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Dude, I'm in the middle of reading Travis Barker's book.
Uh-huh.
Dude, these parties that they write about, I'm like, I just feel like I didn't know this stuff. I mean, I figured stuff like this happens, but it's like, dude, this is a whole other world. Like it's a lot. I'm like reading it. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on in these parties?
I'm gonna have to read that book. That's cool.
Yeah, there's things I won't bother saying on here, but yeah, it's just the things I read. I'm like, this stuff really happens like in real life, but when you're big, rock stars and stuff, as people do, I can't imagine like the old school rockers like Ozzy and stuff, like how much stuff they, and then there's rumors that he would like snort ants. I'm like, maybe that's true. I think it probably is. I mean, he bit a head off a bat. I mean, these guys are probably on so much drugs all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, you live. I was gonna say live fast, die young, but some of these guys live a long time and they live fast, so they made it work. So they're still touring. They're like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, bro, dude, I cannot understand a word he says until he sings. When he's singing, he's like, I understand everything he's saying, but when he's just talking, I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
Was the Osbournes one of the first reality shows?
It was.
That's the first one I watched.
It was one of the first reality shows.
Sure.
I think, or you know what, to be like a first like family sit down reality. But before that, what you could consider a reality show was Real World. That was before that. That was way before. Real World was a reality show,
Yes.
and Road Rules. That was a road where they drove around in Winnebago. It was the same thing as Real World, but they had to go like drive around and do missions. And
I didn't see those.
But you're aware of Real World, right?
Vaguely.
So that's like a show on MTV that was like in the 96, 95, where like they would just put like strangers in a house in a random, like the first season was San Francisco. They did San Diego twice, which is cool. If you ever watch those, oh man, they're really good because you recognize all the places. It's like, that's so dope. You know, it's fucked up because they pick people from around the country, usually Americans. Very, very rarely go out of the country. But this on this one season of Real World in San Diego, one of the girls lives in Chula Vista. They just like how bad, like they pulled a girl from Chula Vista, bro. So she could go home if she wanted to every day. But other people were like from like around the like one guy was from Kentucky, and they're like they would pick people on purpose to like they picked like a gay guy and a black guy and a white guy who's never seen a gay guy and a black guy. Like they pick people that, like on purpose, you know, where it's like, and then the first interview there in the house, like the first interview, the one guy, the black guy is like, yeah, I don't know about this gay guy, right?
No, they
off the bat,
they know what they're doing. They'll instigate.
Yeah.
I watch some of these shows because I like to watch drama, not be involved in it. So some of these I like to watch, but I'm like, dude, I would be the most boring contestant because I get along with everyone. I'd be like, hey,
no,
like,
dude, I don't know about that.
I think
you think that, but no, I don't. I think there'd be something like if you saw. I feel like this is just an example of me knowing you for this short time, but I feel like if you saw this white guy bullying this gay guy, you would have to say something.
Oh, there's bullying. Okay, that's
and you would, and that's where the conflict would come in with you, where it'd be like, hey man, leave me alone. You're like, nah, bro, don't do that.
I'd probably get kept until the mid season because up until then they'd be like, he's harmless, but then they'd be like, just get rid of him. So I think I'd last to like middle.
No, dude, I really do think you'd find your shtick if you were in that situation. You would find where you were, like, because I think you don't know that, but you would find your where you would fit in the drama. Like you'd fit in somewhere, but you just don't know it yet until you get in that situation.
Yeah, I probably will never. Chances are I'll never be in that situation. So that's fine with me.
Right. And that's fine with me too. Yeah. I don't need to know that life. But yeah, anyways, Real World going off. But no, Osbourne's was definitely the first like famous people. Like watching like the Kardashians now do it. I remember Jessica Simpson had a show. Britney Spears had a show. Like everyone has a show, you know.
Travis Barker had a show. I didn't even know they had.
Barker had a show.
Meet the Barkers. I'm like, I didn't even know he had a show.
Yes, that was a good show, and that was right around that time. He was like probably like right after Ozzy Osbourne, like if not second or third. Reality show.
Was early.
Yeah.
No, it's just interesting how you find out how these people meet. Like how he was talking about how he was with Paris for a little bit. Then he ended up, but that's how he met Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's like closet girl. So she like get all her stuff in the closet, get wherever Paris travels, she'd come with her to organize all her stuff. I'm like, oh, so that's how all these people kind of had to start.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. It's interesting to see how all these people like meet kind of. I'm sure if like you followed paparazzi, you probably knew all this, but I have no idea about all this stuff. I read, I'm like, oh, they met, they were a thing, and that's how she came. So like, oh, this is all interesting. But it's interesting though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, dude, I could talk with you for hours.
Yeah,
I really could.
Yeah.
Like, so the fact that you mentioned that you at one point did not think you could hang, dude, you can hang. We can hang. But I gotta go now. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you've contributed to this podcast, and I appreciate you being available.
Oh yeah.
Unlike some people.
They have stuff going on. I'm like, man, I have nothing going on most of the time, so
I
I'm
get
good.
it. I'm joking. I get it. But
Yeah.
but I appreciate you, and we got to do this again. We're gonna do this again. I mean, as long as we have air in our bodies, we're gonna be doing this. Thank you so much for this. Have a great holiday. Take care of yourself, and hopefully you have a good day tomorrow. And I'll see you soon.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right,
Good
man.
night.
You too. Peace out.